Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are here for the RP Series Round 4 at Kyalami, the South African circuit of many different disciplines over the years. Today we will be seeing the GT3 cars that we are so accustomed to in the RP Series take on this circuit. It's a smaller grid than what we're used to today. 9 cars split across the 3 classes. Platinum, silver and bronze. And this should still give us an interesting race around Kyalami, as we have got so used to, as we are coming to the end of practice. There's a few cars still out on circuit trying to make a little bit of time up as we get ready to head to qualifying. Robin Moe, the car we're following at the moment, in the number 3 Bentley, being one of them. Currently running in P3 in the practice times with a 141.4. He's going to want a good showing here in today's race. Good run and possibly a good finish to try and claw some points back from Martin Kovacs, the 861 Lexus driver, who has been extremely on form and on the pace in this season so far. We're at round 4 of 6, so after today there's 2 more rounds of Nordschleife in 2 weeks' time for round 5, and then rounding off the series as we head into qualifying, and it is going to be wet. This is interesting. We will see what this means for the drivers. As wet track, but it looks like it is going to dry out. So the first little bit of the run seems like it will be just drying the circuit out for the drivers. Most of them, I'm expecting, will be taking the wets just to try and get that little bit of water moved off of the racing line so they can come in. A 15-minute qualifying as well means we're going to have quite a quick run around. So for drivers, it will be a case of set the banker lap, get out as quick as you can, and then work together, really, in a sense, to get this water moved away. Because as you move the water away and off of the racing line, the laps get quicker and quicker and quicker. So, yeah, as we can see, most of the drivers out on circuit, with the exception of Arens and Gottlieb. So 7 of the 9 cars out on circuit. Today, so far anyway, to just try and get the water moved off. But with a wet qualifying where it's not raining, it's just wet on the circuit, it's the perfect opportunity for there to be a shake-up of the starting grid. As I am pretty sure it's going to be quicker to take the wet tyres, but maybe Gottlieb and Arens are just hanging back and waiting to see if the track dries, so they haven't got the extra bit of time between pitting and then doing being out on track, possibly finishing your lap if it's faster, then pitting in to change the tyres. They might just be waiting out to see if it does become any better to take the dry tyre during this qualifying session. As today I am all alone in the commentary booth. So it's just me, Huski, here, giving you the rundown and the play-by-play of today's racing. So, we do see Christian look there going very, very unsettled. But he does seem to collect it up well, and you can just here and see as well from the dashboard the sheer amount of... What's the word? The sheer amount of babying around the circuit he is having to do with that Porsche, not letting the car get unsettled, keeping the revs low and the traction control probably high, just to keep the car as stable as you can, because it might look good if you're sliding around everywhere, you know, getting extra points if this was Formula Drift GT3 edition. So it isn't conclusive for a good lap time. There you can see he is coming through. He is trying to use as much of the track as possible. The curbs will be very, very slippery as bouncy bounce over the curb, and a little bit of runoff as he comes through the final corner. He will set the first time of today's qualifying. It will be across the line, a 1:49.9. And Daniel Scott will be coming across next in the Shelby American Inc. Mustang, a 1:50.6, and Martin Kovacs will be, if I am not wrong, the next car following. No, Jennings there, 1:52.1, followed by Kovacs. It puts him in pole with a 1:48.6. And Pierre Moreno, oh, very wide at the second to last corner. That is going to invalidate the time for the Aston Martin. And so too is Frederick Schoblum. So these first laps for Schoblum and Moreno will not count towards the timing tower, as they both invalidated at different points of the lap. Robin Moe coming into the final section now in the Bentley, as we do sometimes call it, the Boatley. And through we go. Keeping it on the curb, but still valid. How much of the inside is going to take there? As much as I think he dares to, because there is a very nasty sausage curb on the inside of that corner. Trying just to get the power down as much as you possibly can to come across the line. It's second so far, a 1:49.4. Best time to beat is a 1:48.6. As now round comes Christian. Again, you can hear just getting the throttle down as early as possible. It might be an improvement. It looks like it's going to be. To go P2, 1:48.7. So the track is clearly getting faster. Jennings now comes through at the final corner. The 99 Mustang. Getting the power down as much as he can. Is it going to be enough to jump up a position or two? Yes, it is. He goes into P4. Kovacs now improving again, a 1:47.9. So this track does look like it's drying out very, very quickly. Frederick Schoblum, the next driver to come across with a valid time. Pierre Moreno invalidated once again. He's having trouble somewhere around the circuit, as in the next 10 minutes apparently we will get rain, but by the look of it, it will be enough to mean that this qualifying session will remain dry in the sky but wet on the circuit. As Robin Moe once again through the final sector. And just if we jump on board, look at this corner here. It's a right-hander that does tighten, but it does widen out again. So you want to get the apex, but use as much of that outside as possible. Over the sausage, avoids it once more. He is getting dangerously close there. As through the final corner, little bit of inside curb. Listen out for how quick he gets the power down. Currently on pace to take pole position. He does, a 1:47.7. So where is Kovacs going to reply to that one? See Christian getting very, very bouncy on the runoff through the last corner. Once again, on the power as early as you can. It looks like it's going to be a half-second improvement. It is not enough to claim a position, but now within 2/10, pretty much. 2/10 and a minuscule bit of change between himself and Kovacs. 4/10 off of pole position. And now Jennings coming through. He has got the tiniest bit to gain to get to Gottlieb and across the line. He does indeed, a 149.8. How is Gottlieb going to reply to that as Pierre Moreno gets through the second to last corner now without invalidation? Round the final corner in the Aston Martin. Will this be the first valid lap for the Frenchman? As across the line, what is it gonna be? It is provisional pole position, a 147.7. But already Robin Moe is looking very quick, half a second up on his delta so far. So as I was saying earlier, the track is drying out and it is getting quicker. And with 6 minutes left to go in today's session, it means a few more laps. I'm pretty sure some of the drivers might have been hanging back to see if it gets to dry tyre conditions now out on circuit, as everyone is out on circuit. We're going to jump up quick. Justin Gottlieb, the Vassar Sullivan 36 Lexus across the line, goes P5. Robin Moe across the line, takes provisional pole back off of Pierre Moreno, 147.1. Now then, Christian through the second to last corner on the brakes. Just listen out for when he picks up the power. He has got, I think that is Aaron's ahead as well in the McLaren. Aaron's across the line, a 153. Christian goes into P3, a 147.8. And Jennings, Robert Jennings now coming through the second to last corner. Let's have a look in that Mustang. Currently second in class, 7th overall. As he gets that American engine to do the work. It will be a little improvement, but not enough to jump up ahead of Justin Gottlieb. 149.7. Now then, Pierre Moreno still on a valid lap, and he is improving about 4.5 tenths on the delta that I get to see. But where is it going to be as he comes through the final corner? Is it enough to jump up? No, it's not. A 147.3. Frederick Schoblam now across the line, jumps up into P5, putting the entire silver grid between himself and Greg Aarons. And now Daniel Scott, he's at P8 at the moment, a 150.6. According to the Delta, he's 2.7 seconds up on this lap. Is it going to be enough though? Yes, it is. Comes across the line. A 147.9, putting him into P4 overall. But is Justin Gottlieb going to have enough on this lap? No, he puts Schoblam behind him, but he's still got about a second to catch up to the next silver car of concern. And then Christian through the final corner, as we've said quite a lot this this qualifying session, sorry. He's got six tenths to gain to the car ahead. Goes a little bit quicker. Now 147.43. He is 7 hundredths behind Pierre Moreno. And Robert Jennings on board with the Mustang as through the final corner. You can see there the dry line is starting to form. So the track is getting quicker. My timing screen is all green at the moment. Across the line, it's again a little improvement, but not enough to jump up so far. Someone is on a very, very good lap at the minute. He's 1.4 seconds up on his delta as he comes through the penultimate corner. Now 1.5, so he is gaining. This looks like it could be the pace to take provisional pole for Martin Kovacs, the KVX Lexus across the line. What's it gonna be? The first 146 of today, a 146.3, so 8 tenths. That means that Robin Moe has to catch to gain on the Lexus. That, I think, is gonna be a bit of an ask. 8 tenths to gain. For Pierre Moreno, it's the second, and for Christian Lux as well, it is 1.1. So let's jump to Christian here. He is coming through the second last corner. How much inside curve? A little bit more now. It's clearly getting dry enough for the drivers to go, yeah, we can take more of this curb. Round the final corner. He is apparently a second up on his Delta. Let's see as he breaks the beam. It's enough to go P2 within 1/10 of Kovacs. But Kovacs is already a 10th up on his Delta as well. So that is going to be a game of cat and mouse as Frederick Schoblem coming through. Robin Moe letting him past as they head down the hill. The white flag is out behind for slow car. So Robin Moe probably saw there's a car on a lap behind me. Robin Moe was already in the red on Delta. So he was like, there's already a car behind me. Just going to let him go. Give myself clean air in front and behind. But Frederick Schoblem, the driver we are looking at, coming through 7/10 up, according to the Delta. As round he comes, is he going to keep it valid? It looks like he is. He's already in the provisional pole for his class. And is just going to extend that out to 148.0. And now Pierre Moreno, he is heading down the hill. We're on board with the Frenchman. You could just hear a little bit of bottoming out as the track has gone to damp, but it's not going to be enough time for any drivers to change tyres and get an outlap finished. Again, a little bit of inside curve, using as much of that outside. He is only a 10th up as it currently stands, but that is building up, it seems. Maybe he's built it up through the final two corners, across the line. It isn't enough to get into P3. He's now 300ths behind Robin Moe, but Robin Moe already 4/10 up on his lap this lap. There's a few drivers ducking into the pit lane, 6th through to 8th, deciding that qualifying for them is now over. Everyone else out on circuit though, all on green. Chris Lucht goes into the pits as well. He's calling his qualifying run finished. Currently provisionally P2, but 8/10 behind is Robin Moe, who at the minute is 9/10 up on his Delta. So he could actually have the pace to take Martin Kovacs as well. Kovacs is just about in positive as it currently stands, but it is ebbing and flowing between negative and positive. Best sectors, 32.2 sector 1 in Kovacs' favour, 42.3 in Christian's, and then 31.5 in Kovacs' favour again. But let's see now, Robin Moe 1.3 seconds up, now 1.2. It's a bit touchy as he goes across there. The time to beat is a 146.1, and if he keeps this Delta going how it is, Robin Moe is currently on provisional pole. The first 145 of the night. 145.8 is Pierre Moreno. No, he's not. Pierre Moreno ducking out of qualifying, leaving just Daniel Scott, who is currently in the lead of his class, but he's, I think, might be looking... No, he's invalidated. So there is your starting grid. Robin Moe takes platinum pole position and overall with a 145.8. Followed by Kovacs in P2, the 861 car. Chris Lucht, P3 platinum in the 158 Porsche. And Pierre Moreno rounding off the platinum grid, P4 in the 22 Aston Martin. Then on to silver, Daniel Scott, P5 overall, pole in his class. So we're just trying to get a look at the car. Followed by Justin Gottlieb right behind him, 7th overall, P2 in class in the 36 Lexus. And then Jennings alongside him in that red and white. Words hard. In the red and white Mustang. The rain is coming down. The track is greasy. So you could theoretically drive it on dry tyres. But it is just getting wetter. I mean, it's gone from greasy to damp while we've been on grid. And then in bronze, Schoblem takes pole position there. P6 overall, with Aaron's rounding off the grid overall. And P2 in class in the 33 McLaren. So he's got 2 cars to fight through. 2 silver cars to fight through to get up to Frederick Schoblem. And Daniel Scott has Frederick Schoblem, who will be alongside him. But if he can pull ahead, that means that there is that one car between himself and Justin Gottlieb, as we are 1 minute away. In car with Robin Moe, you can see the driver tile there looking very focused. Probably not the best of times to have a tinted visor on in this weather, but you know, do what you will. And it's also a very interesting way to get a look at how the rear end of the car has been modelled as well. I mean, if we go to Lexus, you can see bits of carbon, all the bits of roll cage as well, how they've tied on the Scherf driver nettings as well. And then in the Porsche again, more bits. You can see some more little bits in the bottom left. And with the Aston Martin, very nice suede interior there. And it does also give you a view of how little the rear window is in these cars. I mean, okay, the Mustang's a bit of an outlier. That's got quite a big window, but then you look at something like the Honda NSX, yeah, there's nothing. And then the Lexus, okay, quite big. And Mustang, yep, quite big again. And then the McLaren, yeah, you get one little slip. It's just a rear window, which I always find interesting to look at how the cars have been modelled that way, because what purpose is that serving anyone? That tiny little slip there. As Robin Moe will get us underway for the formation lap. There we go. It's a bit slow off the mark there. But the track is now fully wet. One pit stop in today's race for the drivers to make. No pit window. However, so, yeah, as the cars get led away. For round 4, all the drivers who have arrived as well, getting very good opportunities to gain points on those they are chasing in the championship. For whichever reason they can't be here today, but you know, it means for the cars on the grid a very, very good chance for them to get some well-needed points. But the battle up the front between Robin Moe and Kovacs is going to be very interesting. That Bentley did come into its own as the track was drying out, but for the first 10 minutes it looks like we're going to have rain, followed then by dry running for about 20 minutes. However, with the weather, you can never be too certain. ACC can update as a whim. That does not mean that the weather there is going to stay that way. As we come up now, it will be a 2x2 rolling start as we are used to with these small grid races as well. It's all about building the gap, because you're not going to have to in the pit stop fight through that many cars if you're running up the front. So it is going to be extremely interesting for the drivers to see how they adapt to the smaller grid we have in today's race. There we come through the final corner. And for the 4th time this season, Robin Moe and Kovacs will line up the front of the grid. Here we go now as across the line. We're not yet starting. And we go green here. Good start from Christian in the 158 Porsche. Robin Moe and Kovacs looking like they get the same start, really. As into turn one, there's contact between Moreno and Kovacs. Kovacs holds the car in line, and Robin Moe already looking to start the breakaway. As Christian, he is trying a little bit there. Gottlieb got a bit squeezed to the inside by Frederick Schoblem. He has to get past that Honda to then start building up to the Mustang. Is a bit of door-to-door between the Aston Martin and the Porsche, but they both stay together. They're getting very, very tight over the apex, and look at how close these two are together. Christian will get the inside through the first part, but Pierre gets the inside through the second, and that's going to be Pierre Moreno up to third position. But already a 1.3 second gap to Kovacs ahead, as down the inside, and the attempt there by Daniel Scott from well back, but it looks like the Mustang has made it work. The Porsche just getting hung out to dry around the outside, and that means that Daniel Scott has put a car between himself and Justin Gottlieb, the car that's second in his class. And Christian will be looking to just try and catch up to that Mustang. He was quick during qualifying. And now he's got the Mustang ahead of him. Daniel Scott had nothing to gain from that move apart from clean air. And the opportunity to put a car between himself and his next car of concern. So he is, I think, probably a smart move for the Mustang to take that position. But if the Porsche can start applying pressure, that's where things could get spicy, because that could close the gap up between himself and Justin Gottlieb, as they will go side by side. Christian was trying the outside there, but slots back in behind. He is trying to get the exit. But it doesn't look like it's going to work thus far, and Justin Gottlieb is just getting closer and closer. I mean, look on board here with the Lexus. You can see those cars are pretty close. He is 3/10 behind Christian. And is he going to try it down the inside here? He was looking if that door was going to stay open, but I think he was well within the realms of a smart move to go no. And that might have just hurt the gap a little bit now. 6/10, 1.2 seconds between himself and Daniel Scott, as Christian is just looking to claw back any time that he possibly can to Daniel Scott, because as he's behind Daniel Scott, Pierre Moreno, Robin Moe and Kovacs will be driving up the road, but now they will be side by side on the run down. We have seen that Porsche is strong in a straight line, but let's see. It's gonna be a drag race here. Who is the first on the brakes? They look to get on the brakes at about the same time, so they will stay door to door, but Christian there with the inside takes P4 overall and P4 in class, but now he's got 3.6 seconds to gain to the car ahead, and Frederick Schoblem there taking as much advantage as he can from Justin Gottlieb running wide, but he will have to try and hold the outside, and it doesn't look like it's going to work this time around for the Honda, who has a massive gap between himself and P2 in class. So he hasn't got to be too aggressive here, as as you remember in these multi-class races, you have to imagine it as 3 separate races happening on the same circuit. Your Platinum class, you score points in Platinum, as that was a massive frame spike there. As, you know, you score points in Platinum based on your Platinum position. You score points in Silver based on your Silver position. And you score points in Bronze based on your Bronze position. At no point there is it going to benefit you more or less if you finish ahead of, at least in a points respect. You're not going to get more points if you finish, let's say, first overall in Silver, because you finished first in Silver. But if you finish third overall as the first Silver car, for example, you finished first in Silver. You finished first in your respective race. So I do 100% get it with fighting cars not in your class when it happens in racing. I've had it before in multi-class when in the times that I've raced in RP series, if it's just, I don't know what class this car's in, he's ahead of me and I don't like it, and you just go for it. And of course that is what you want to do as a driver. You go, there is a car ahead, I don't like having cars ahead, I want that car to be behind me. Which is, I think, why we see a lot of, as I call them, inter-class battles. But we are following Kovacs. He is chasing down the rear end of Robin Moe. That gap is getting very, very close. 4 tenths between the 2 cars. And Pierre Moreno is starting to close as well, but the track is drying out, so we may see soon, because for the next half an hour it is looking dry. So we may see cars, once the conditions are correct, dive into the pit lane to get onto the faster tyre. That is going to be interesting as to where the crossover is, because they do have to make one stop this race. And down the inside there, very late from Kovacs, as the camera cut away there for a second, but very late from Kovacs. But he has made it stick, it looks. That was an amazing move. We will have a watch here again, just at that move that gave Kovacs a lead. This is from the helicam. You can see Robin Moe ahead. Robin Moe on the brakes. Kovacs, though, goes, I'm having that. That door's open. Down the inside. Maybe a bit of door banging, but nothing too egregious. And then holds it through as well. What a move there for Kovacs to take the lead of the race. And now Robin Moe has gone from the defending car to the attacking car. Kovacs very much coming into his own as the track is drying out. As he does have the best time of today's race as it currently stands, a 146.3, so not as quick as qualifying was, but definitely getting quicker, because we've seen, you know, the 150s while the track was wet, and now that the track's getting dry, I mean, you can see not much spray coming up from the cars. So it is going to be a case now of, can Robin Moe chase the rear end? Kovacs there trying to break the toe a little bit down the long start-finish straight, because it is quite long. There is a kink in the middle that some series will classify as a corner. I don't. And just on the brakes, trying to gain as much as possible from the braking potential of the Bentley, but that gap is widening. And Pierre Moreno there, I think, has just sat there in the car hoping and praying that these two start fighting each other, because as you fight, you do get slow, you do slow up. As you know, you're on and off the racing line. You're making defensive moves. You're going to slide through corners just to try and back the car up a little bit and focus on your exits. So it will be a very interesting one. See how it goes. Is now once again we are running back down the hill. 4 attempts between first and second. Kovacs though has got a few car lengths, but we're going to jump up as Jennings on Frederick Schoblum. He tries down the inside there. Is Schoblum going to get the exit? No. Little snap of oversteer for the Honda. And again. But I'm not sure if those tyres, those wet tyres, are starting to fall off. But Jennings now has got the clear track ahead to run and chase his silver compatriots. But when are we going to see the first cars pitting? Because it looks very much like it's going to remain dry for the main portion of this race. As into the pits comes Schoblum and Jennings. Who gets a better pit entry? I think it was Schoblum, really. And the question is Greg Aarons going to come into the pits as well? The Antwerp Aces car, the 33. Or is he going to stay out? It looks like he's staying out, in fact. But it very much looks like he is still on the wet compound of tyres. He's moving further up. Once again, the battle for the silver lead is underway. Everyone on the wet tyres, it seems. I can't see, and I believe this is what the right way round of thinking. I will be able to show it a bit better as the cars come out of the pit lane who are in the pits. But already side by side, it's Lexus and Mustang. But the Mustang will have the inside through the second part and just edges ahead. But is Gottlieb going to be able to dive one up the inside here? No, he's just a bit behind. But trying to poke that nose ahead, and it looks like it might work. As down the hill, it is a drag race, and I think the Mustang has a bit more of the legs through the straights, but has to go very, very wide on the exit there. Gets himself back over, and the cutback attempt, but there is not the ability there for the Lexus to cut back. Oh, there is contact. They both go off the circuit. And Daniel Scott into the pit. So I think he might have been planning to pit that lap anyway. That, though, was very interesting. Here is the run back. You can see just side by side. I think Daniel Scott was trying to get over the circuit to line up for the pits. And they do just collect each other. Thankfully, nothing majorly egregious happens there. They both go off the circuit. That's about it. So let's see if my theory's right. Yes, it is. So, from what I can see, Jennings has gone onto the dry tyre. So if you take a very, very close look at the tyre, you can see a slight tinge of gold as it goes around the branding. Whereas if we switch to a car with the wet tyre on, I'm not sure how well this shows up on stream, but the tyre is completely black. But that is a way to see whether or not it's a dry tyre or a wet tyre. It could just not show up on stream, and I could have just said this interesting factoid here that I can see, but the stream can't. That would be relatively entertaining. But these two still out on circuit. The circuit is still a bit wet, but you can just see that light grey line appearing, the dry line here, and it looks like that we are due dry weather for the vast majority of this race from a wet start. And who dives into the pit lane? They both do. Now the question is, for Pierre Moreno, is it enough for him to gain a pit stop here? His pit stop was a 59 second. The fastest was a 58 line to line. So from pit entry line to pit exit line, the fastest was a 58. So So we'll have to see as Gottlieb dives into the lead of the race, but I'm pretty sure he is still on the wet tyre. Yes, he is. And it is going to be a case of who will get out of the pit lane first. Robert Moe with today's fastest lap at 146.212. And Robin Moe looks like he's being released first, ahead of Kovacs, who comes out behind. So Robin Moe has gained the position there on the pit stop, even though he came in behind. And now Pierre Moreno might be very close to the two cars, quite possibly. Doesn't quite seem like it. 2.4 seconds between the two. Kovacs, however, 2.8 seconds behind Robin Moe. Look at that. Robin Moe has gained quite well in the pit stop. In fact, the pit stop for Kovacs was 59 seconds line to line with a 35-second stop. And for Robin Moe, it was a 56-second line to line with a 32-second stop. So I'm not too sure if Kovacs might have had a bit of damage to repair from that move earlier. You know, possibly a bit of bodywork or aero damage. Don't know if he meant to repair it. If that was the case, an extra 3 seconds in the pits in comparison to the car ahead. That is quite the possibility. But then that just begs the question of how is that going to play out the rest of the race? Because at the minute, Robin Moe will retake the lead of the race. Gottlieb is in the pit lane. But Daniel Scott is... I'll do some quick math. 28 seconds ahead. 28 seconds behind the Lexus, sorry. And he is currently at second 40 of his pit stop. So if it's just for tyres, that is normally 30, 31, 32 seconds. Depending on if you hit your mark properly, that is about what it normally is. As he has been dropped, 32 seconds. The question will be, will Daniel Scott get the position on the Lexus? It looks like it. Yes, he does. So Daniel Scott back up into the lead of today's race. That means everyone has pitted as well. And the track will just be continually getting faster. As we go on, no sign of rain, but that doesn't mean it can't come. Half an hour is a long time for the for predicting the weather, because that's, at least as far as I know, you have to think in the case of that little weather thing up in the top right corner that says 10 minutes overcast, scatter clouds, sorry, with some, and 30 minutes. It is only a prediction. It can change. But for all the drivers who have boxed in now, does mean that if it does stay dry for the remainder of today's race, then that is enough to keep going. Just looking and seeing how we will go, because at the minute all the gaps are pretty wide apart. The closest gap we do have is Justin Gottlieb to Daniel Scott, but that's a second and a half between the two. Gottlieb coming out now for his first lap after his pit stop, so we will get a look at the times very shortly. But the best lap overall in today's race is held by Robin Moe, 142.995. The second closest is, if I can do my math right, Christian, the 158 Porsche, 143.5. Followed by Kovacs and then Moreno in the 143s. So it is definitely a time to behold, because at this current moment in time, it looks as if Robin Moe has the pace. I mean, 3.3 seconds behind is Kovacs, off of overall race lead, as Robin Moe sets a faster time again, a 142.5, which Kovacs doesn't quite match, a 142.9 for Kovacs that last lap out as well. But Justin Gottlieb is getting very, very close to that Mustang once again. Half a second, 0.6, more or less, is the gap. As they run up the start-finish straight. 0.3. It looks like that Lexus has got a good bit of straight line speed. As, oh, round goes Daniel Scott. What happened there? Let's jump on board with the Lexus. Was there a nudge as they head into the corner? That Lexus closes up quickly. No, Daniel Scott, the rear end of the car, just turned around for the Mustang. That has promoted Justin Gottlieb to the lead of the race, and it means Frederick Schoblem's off. Frederick Schoblem is in the gravel. What in the world happened there? Keep an eye on the Mustang. Daniel Scott manages to get back up to speed just as the Honda is alongside him. Then down the straight we go. Schoblem there looks. And Daniel Scott, I don't want to say too much, but does he just turn across him? We're going to get a look from inside the 951. So have a watch of the car on the outside. Oh! It does just look like that Mustang comes across him. Again, we'll get a look from inside the car of Daniel Scott. Watch the wheel, because we're going to be on the outside. Does he just hit a bump and try to save the car? But for Frederick Schoblem, that is not going to be a very good position. I mean, I was saying it earlier. You know, he is a great deal ahead of the next bronze car, so he hasn't got to be fighting as hard, because, you know, he's gaining nothing really in terms of his championship position by fighting the silver cars, but he could very much lose everything by fighting the silver cars. So that is going to be an interesting one to guess, really, as Robin Moe. Look at that gap behind him to the Lexus. 3.5 seconds, according to my live timing. Across the line, we will see what it is now overall. Yeah, just under 3.6 seconds. Same for Pierre Moreno to Kovacs as well. So really, the top three very much equidistant to each other. And who says that the small grid races don't give you an interesting time with just over half an hour left on the clock? Robin Moe still in the lead. Really, there's no close battles at the moment. Justin Gottlieb, 10 seconds ahead of Daniel Scott, according to the live timing. So Gottlieb is very much in that top end position. We'll just have to watch as it goes. The track has just improved now, so there is rubber being laid down as the cars head around the circuit lap after lap. But the question is very much going to be, what will happen with the rest? So you can see Greg Aaron's there. He is going to have Justin Gottlieb coming up behind him. Justin Gottlieb currently in the lead of his own class. And looking at the weather, if everything stays how it is now, we should have a dry finish to today's race, which I'm sure the drivers will be very, very happy about. So just listen to the engine of the McLaren. Through the apex and back on the power. That is the sound of an engine that isn't very happy. But the weather has updated again. Apparently we will get rain in the final 3 minutes of today's race. That will be very entertaining. I am keeping my eye very much on the weather as Greg Aaron's very wide there at the top of the hill. Bit of a flash by Justin Gottlieb. And Gottlieb there gets round. So that's going to be Gottlieb just moving on. Daniel Scott is a good bit behind, so he is going to have an uphill battle. So with 32 minutes on the clock to go. We are getting there, but the rain looks like it might be looming. I mean, looking at how dark it is for 2:30 in sim time. It's definitely looking like it's coming, but if it's still half an hour away, then that will mean that we will finish under dry conditions. will see Daniel Scott, currently P2 in class, 9 seconds behind class leader Justin Gottlieb. The rain doesn't look like it's going to be with us in any meaningful amount either. So it does look like it is going to be dry running for the rest of today's race. But with 28 minutes on the clock, the grid is looking pretty set, so we'll have to keep an eye open for any late race drama. Is that we had a yellow flag there for just a moment. Can't quite see who that was for. It was a very brief one, so I'm not 100% sure who that was for. There, it looks like everyone's still going as normal. At this current moment in time. Is the track, it actually looks like the weather is brightening up as well, so I think we will be running the rest of the race in the dry conditions. Not that I'm doing a rain dance or anything in my chair, but if you ask me, Husky, are you doing rain dance in your chair? I wouldn't be able to deny it. I wouldn't confirm it, but I would not be able to deny it. They're up at the front of the field in Platinum. Robin Moe still leading there now by 5.2 seconds as well. with the amount of time we've got left and the weather looking as it is, I do not believe we are going to be running in the wet any more today. Which I'm sure for the drivers will be a big sigh of relief. You can see Aaron's trying to gain time. Don't think for him a win in class is going to be on the cards. But as it does currently stand, we are indeed 23 minutes left until the checkered. Daniel Scott as well, though, has gained quite a lot of time up to Justin Gottlieb. 6.3 seconds now. A few laps earlier it was at 10. So he's gained about 3.7 seconds. Since his little half spin. So we will have a watch and a look. There's 22 minutes left to go. And with how it is at the moment, no rain. Pierre Moreno also trying to gain as well, 4.7 off of Kovacs ahead. So, on board with Frederick Schoblin, he is ahead in his class. If anything, actually, I think that car ahead is the McLaren of Arends, the P2 car in his class. So if he can get past Greg Arends, that is going to solidify Frederick Schoblin in winning his race. But the blue flags are out for Arends. So nowhere near close enough to Frederick Schoblem to strike, but goes wide to let Schoblem through. He didn't have to do that, but that is a very good bit of sportsmanship to see Schoblem go past. Not very easy when it's a car in your own class, but definitely is. A good bit of sportsmanship, not to hinder him, not to cause any issues, just to go, yep, you are quicker than me, let you go ahead. Was that through turn 3 or 4? I can't quite tell. Can't remember if they add that chicane as one corner or two. I did have a printout of the circuit somewhere. I haven't found it. There's Schoblem there. Schoblem is round. What has happened to Frederick Schoblem? Has he just hit the grass? Yes, he has. Oh, into the barrier as well. That is not a good thing for the Finn, as he's just hit the grass and gone round. He got the car going again, so he is back out. He hasn't lost anything. He hasn't gained... Well, he's lost something with a bit of front-end damage. I'm not sure if it's going to be suspension or just bodywork. It did look like he hit the front corner, which, you know, you don't have to know a lot about cars to know that there's a tyre there. So for Schoblem, that is not going to be what he would have wanted to see. But he's still held his position. So he is still currently in the lead of his class. Apparently 2 laps ahead as well. So for him, that's going to be very, very safe. We are coming into the closing period. It does not look like the rain will be with us. As it currently stands, Robin Moe in the lead of Platinum, Justin Gottlieb in the lead of Silver, and Frederick Schoblem in the lead of Bronze. And yeah, apparently next half an hour there's going to be rain, but that does not affect us at all, because we've got 16 minutes left on today's race. And on the brakes into turn 1. Pierre Moreno still 3rd position in the Aston Martin liveried car. And the weather forecast has now changed to full dry as well for the rest of the race. So the drivers have access to that as well. They can see and go, brilliant. As I was saying earlier, without any last-minute dramas, we're gonna see this as our finishing position. But Daniel Scott is catching up. 3.9 seconds now between himself and Justin Gottlieb. That would be for the lead of Silva, but with 14.5 minutes left to go, we will see as Daniel Scott seems to be staying in that 3.9 second gap. So we will have a jump to Daniel Scott. Can we see the Lexus ahead just there? You can see just going through the uphill left-hand corner. And there you can see in the camera how much time is between them. But now we've apparently got rain in the next 10 minutes. That could see... the 3.6 seconds, but with that rain possibly looming, what are we going to see happen here? So, we're looking and looking and looking. Has that gap come down anymore? It has. It's come down by 0.2 now in favour of Daniel Scott. But with 11 minutes of the race left, trying to do the quick maths on how many laps that is going to be. I'm just trying to feel out the weather, but now that gap in Silva, 2.9 as we head through. So with 10 minutes left to go, Daniel Scott would need to take out a couple attempts per lap to be within striking distance. But then it's not just about being within that 2, 3, 4/10 striking distance. It's about being able to make the move happen. So he needs to get within fighting distance of Justin Gottlieb. But then across the line we go again. 2.8 was the time last time. It's now 2.7. So he's taken around about a 10th out of the Lexus. That last lap. There's going to be 3, maybe 4 laps left. Remember, with GT racing, the race only finishes when the overall leader crosses the line with 0 seconds left to go. So if Robin Moe crosses the line with 1 second left to go, we're doing another lap. For Robin Moe at the minute, though, he's 5.1 seconds up on Martin Kovacs. It will now be a case of holding him behind. 5.2 seconds. So Robin Moe really wants to do as few laps as possible. But if he gains... If they have to go around for another lap, Robin Moe has enough of a gap there to just have a chilled out, easy lap. So, with 7.5 minutes left, that gap between 5th and 6th has not changed. Now 2.6, so Daniel Scott is taking time out, but where is he going to come across that McLaren will be a big question on his lips of where is he going to come across. Now, 6 minutes to go, not 5.5. Don't know where I got a half from. But, with just under 6 minutes to go, that gap is now 2.1. So... So that gap is still falling. 2.09 now. It's falling by little margins a time. But with 5 minutes left to go, it might not be enough for Daniel Scott to take the victory, to take the silver class victory. But of course, more out there things have happened. That gap's now 1.9. And Gottlieb's gone into the pit lane. So, I don't know why Gottlieb has gone into the pit lane. But that has given Daniel Scott the lead of the class. As the rain does come in. So with 3 minutes left to go. Sorry, 3 minutes left on the clock. The rain has come in, but the question is, I don't think it's going to be enough to force end of race pit stops. Has Justin Gottlieb gone on to wet tyres though? That is my question. But it looked like it was too quick of a pit stop. He has not indeed. And the track is getting too greasy, so it could actually be the little bit of late drama we are used to in the RP series that happens from time to time. We do get drama. But it would be very, very late for late race drama with 2 minutes left on the clock. 1 minute 55. As I said that, obviously it will go down. Track is greasy once again. We started out on a wet circuit, but it does look like it's getting wet quite quick. As a bit of a slide there for Robin Moe. As he comes, so think this may be the last lap of the race, in fact. So it would be a little bit of a tough lap for Robin Moe. But if he does tactically slow up through some of the corners, I think maybe he may need to slow the pace up a little bit to get the end of the race on this lap. With 50 seconds left to go, but can he slow up enough to not have Martin Kovacs behind him? Track is getting wetter, and it does look like we will be going for another lap round. So Robin Moe will likely be... Yeah, he is going to be on the pace for one more lap of the circuit. So wet track, dry tires. This is gonna be, I think, a very, very scary lap for the drivers, because there's no point pitting now, and there is no point in really pushing, because you're on wet, slick tires on a wetting circuit. As the timer goes to 0, Robin Moe again, bit of oversteer through there. What about Kovacs? Does he get any? Yes, he does quite a lot. You can actually see the car dart down. What about Pierre Moreno in the front-engined Aston? Does there get any oversteer? Yep. Little bit of a snap as he goes through the first and second corners. Now Robin Moe again through the corner we go. Watch the rear end. Have a look. Doesn't look like there's any snap. Which is good. But he has got the rest of the lap to get through. And that rain is very much coming down now. The track is fully wet. We're not flooded, but it is very wet. So, as we come into the final sector now, he's got 2 more corners to make it through to take the victory here. And then through the final corner to come across the line, pole on the grid, but then manage the overtake in the pit stop to take the victory. It is Robin Moe in the small PP number 3 Bentley, followed in second by the KVX Racing Lexus, piloted by Martin Kovacs. In third comes Pierre Moreno, giving us a bit of a drift across the line for third place. And then that means fourth place and rounding off the platinum grid will be Christian Yerkes. Very good position for him points-wise. And Frederick Schoblum has come across to take the victory in bronze. And Christian there, 4th overall. And Daniel Scott looking like he is going to come through to take the victory in his class. He isn't going fast. He's just keeping it straight and narrow on the circuit, not wanting to smash it. And across the line to take the victory in the silver class is Daniel Scott. To take the victory there, which will mean on the grass, actually in a bit of strife, is Justin Gottlieb, who will take second position in class as well. Justin had that late pit stop in the race, which was not the most ideal of things for him. But coming around the final corner to take second place in his class is Justin Gottlieb to round off. So there is your finishing order. Robin Moe takes the overall victory and first in class, followed by Kovacs, Pierre Moreno and Christian Yerkes for platinum. In silver, Daniel Scott took the win, followed by Justin Gottlieb. Jennings started but did not finish. And then in bronze, Frederick Schoblum and Greg Aarons, P1 and 2 there respectively. Due to things happening in my real life tonight, I cannot conduct the driver interviews as I normally do. So with that, this is where we'll be calling the stream tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the drivers who arrived and gave us the race. We'll be back in 2 weeks for round 5, the Nordschleife special. Until then,